Good afternoon, I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Welcome to Camnet TV Mid News. The headlines. PF's Brian Mundubile calls on the UPND to have a human face when dealing with sensitive issues. Gears to challenge BOWMAN LUSAMBO and MALANJI'S eligibility to recontest elections. Join me with the details after this commercial.
Akamwana kanono nomsepela kwikala chapamo Kuribe kumunzi kuribe mutauni kumatero
The Zambia Statistics Agency will this year conduct the 2021 census across the country. The census aims to count people in households, rural and urban, hospitals, military, police and correctional facilities. This numbering will extend to hotels, farms, as well as high-density areas with different families sharing a house and those in transitory locations. Every person in the country matters and should be counted because the census will benefit all, from migrants, refugees and street children, homeless people, the young and the old people, as well as persons with disabilities. Everyone counts. This message is brought to you by the Zambia Statistics Agency.
And now the media news in detail. A 35-year-old woman of Lusaka's Lilanda Township in Matero constituency says she is living in fear of losing her life every day due to a heart complications she had developed 3 years ago, adding that it has also led to her stomach enlarging. In an interview with Camnet News, Loveness Hakamola says she is on fluid-reducing tablets from the University Teaching Hospital, but states that she is sometimes only given prescriptions on the basis that the hospital is out of the said medicine, leaving her destitute as the tablets can cost as much as 500 kwacha per course.
Access to quality health care is a basic human right as it hinges on the well-being and productivity of individuals. It is in this regard that developing countries like Zambia are striving to attain this, hence committing to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, with goal number 3 aiming at providing easily accessible quality health care for all by 2030. With only 8 years till the target, indicators in the country show that efforts will need to be enhanced if the target is to be attained, as some citizens are still struggling to access this service. A case in point is a 35-year-old woman of Lilanda compound in Lusaka's Matero constituency, Loveness Hakamola, who says her heart started enlarging 3 years ago. Along with that, her stomach, rendering her immobile. Ms. Hakamola explains that she has been on treatment from the University Teaching Hospital UTH, but is sometimes left destitute when she only receives a prescription after being told that the medicine has run out at that particular time.
Nikaenda ku hospital, ni appointment, penango nikaenda. Vanilembera chape kapepa kuti kapepa ko kaguleni munkwala manje onitandizira kuti nigule munkwala nilibe ndalama zakaena zogula munkwala wakaena ogula niwodula ndrama manilembera kuti kaguleni penango peza tuwaenda mu drugstore kwenda kugula munkwala atuwe munkwala mwe mufuna 500. So mani pempa ko tandizo kunitandizirako nilibe kochosa ndrama ninkara chape nilibe vochita very vonse.
Meanwhile, a medical doctor, Teddy Mulenga, has explained the medical condition.
So they switch to the fluids, water settling. It's called ascites in the abdomen because the heart is not got enough power to pump the fluids around. That's the cause of the swelling of the abdomen. As far as treatment is concerned, we give water reducing tablets like Lasix, Moduretics, okay, which sometimes even reduce the blood pressure. So those are the tablets we use to reduce the load on the heart.
Ending inequalities in the country will not only mean ensuring that citizens have access to food, but also ensuring that they have equal opportunities in accessing quality health care. Zipora Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Patriotic Front presidential hopeful Brian Mundubile has condemned the demolition of the houses, among other structures in Chingola, describing it as unfortunate. In an interview, Mr. Mundubile, who is also a member of parliament, says the United Party for National Development should not find pleasure in people suffering. Mr. Mundubile also notes that the government, through the local authority, should have found remarkable ways of dealing with the matter with a human face.
Saturday, 20th of August 2022, families of Kasompe area in Chingola, Copperbelt province watched helplessly as their dwelling places they called home for some time got demolition authority were brought down. According to the council, in February 2022, an enforcement notice for the developers to suspend all works within a period of 28 days as required under the provisions of Section 49(1) and 2 of the Urban and Regional Planning Act No. 3 of 2015 of the laws of Zambia was issued. However, this notice fell on deaf ears. Commenting on the matter, Opposition Patriotic Front presidential hopeful Brian Mundubile is saddened by the situation in Chingola, describing it as a clear sign that the UPND administration does not care for the poor people.
We wish to condemn those acts and call upon the UPND government that once again, can they begin to have a human face when dealing with these delicate matters. It's not to rule by the text, even if it means you're going to kill all your citizens and you want to appear good and follow your textbooks. Put on a human face, understand the circumstances. How else can we do this? Is there another way? If somebody built a house in the middle of the road, maybe my position would be different. But you're talking about having built properties in an area which is disused, a disused runway, that is not even being utilized at the moment. And what would be most unfortunate, as we know our friends in the UPND, not very long from now, you will see a so-called investor, some rich white fellow, will be given that property to begin to develop.
Mr. Mundubile also questioned where the council was for people to erect structures on illegal land.
What I think the councils must do, they must not take pride and pleasure in causing pain on others, especially the poor people. The council must now build capacity to step up efforts. The inspectorate departments of the council must take steps to enhance capacity in those areas, such that even before construction, even before the allocation of these plots are done, the inspectorate is able to nip it in the bud, and thereby saving money from innocent people, poor people, unsuspecting public. You can imagine that most of those proceeded under the belief that they were getting plots from legitimate sources. It was up to the council to ensure, it's up to the council now to ensure that the innocent purchasers of land for value are not victims in the end. Those that sold them those plots, who ideally maybe even be councillors living under the UPND today, got the money and they're happy with that money. They've built houses elsewhere.
Meanwhile, Chingola constituency Member of Parliament Chipoka Mulenga, who is in Nigeria on national duty, says he will ensure that land illegalities in his constituency are a thing of the past.
I've learned the development that has happened in Chingola. For a long time, yes, people have built in wrong areas and everything, demolitions have happened, but the people who allocate plots in wrong places have never been held accountable. Under our administration and me as Member of Parliament in my area, as much as the allocation of plot and demolition does not sit under the jurisdiction of the Member of Parliament, but I wish to engage the council and the people so that whatever misallocation or wrong activities should just be brought to an end now. But the question that we should just act proactively is, when people start building, where are we and who is giving the plots? But ultimately, allow me first to go on the ground and interact with my people and see how best I can support them while they are going through this challenge.
Sharon Kalimbula, Camnet News.
Kia's initiative has warned the Patriotic Front against abrogating the constitution by allowing Joe Malanji and BOWMAN LUSAMBO to recontest their lost seats. Kia's Executive Director McDonald UPND says the decision by the Patriotic Front to adopt the trio whose elections were nullified by both the High Court and Constitutional Court will force the constitution to evoke Act 2 of the Constitution in defending, resisting or preventing PF from overthrowing, suspending or illegally abrogating the Constitution of Zambia.
We want to put it on record that now that the Patriotic Front has officially announced the adoption of the three people whose elections were nullified on account of violence, corruption, malpractices, electoral malpractices, and also for non-possession or indeed production of the grade 12 certificate as a prerequisite for nomination. We are going to challenge this decision in the courts of law, and we are going to trigger 2 articles of our Constitution, if not 3 or more. The first one is Article 2, that demands that we defend, we protect, we prevent, we resist anyone who wants to abrogate the Constitution by overthrowing it, suspending it, or indeed abrogating it. And what the Patriotic Front has done is basically offending the Constitution.
National Democratic Congress faction President Saboyi Imboela has urged political parties to consider adopting women in the upcoming parliamentary elections for Kwacha and Kabushi constituencies. In an interview, Ms. Imboela notes that men have continued dominating the space in adoptions, which will make it hard to achieve the 50-50 gender representation in parliament.
Well, in terms of our by-elections, definitely we would love to see as many women as possible, but I'll be